Hi, and welcome to the SaVeg podcast.
I'm Rose, also known as Cheap Lazy Vegan on YouTube.
And I'm Daniel, one of your favorite guest stars on Cheap Lazy Vegan's YouTube channel.
We're two friends who love to talk about the latest trending topics.
So get comfortable and join us while we give our SaVeg take on just about everything.
You are currently listening to the previous episode of this podcast, but if you would like to listen to this week's episode and get some exclusive content, go over to patreon.com/thesavagepodcast. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the SaVeg podcast.
Hey, guys.
Look at us. We're together.
We are together.
Is this
again.
allowed?
Technically, yes. Guys, we are following COVID protocols.
I mean, as far as we can understand them.
Well, not apparently. So the rule in Alberta, just to rest assured, guys, we don't want anyone thinking we're doing anything too crazy here.
People don't hate us anyways.
Oh, God damn, that's so true. There'd be the hate in the YouTube-ation comments. No, what was I going
You're such a weirdo.
Okay, anyway, what I was going to say, though, in Calgary, where we're living, if you live by yourself, you're allowed to have somebody else in your cohort because, for mental health and whatever else. And because I'm single as fuck and living by myself as a loner, I can come visit Rose. So,
what about me? What's my excuse? I don't live alone.
Yeah, but you're part of my cohort. So, because I'm a loner.
This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying in terms of the rules, don't really make sense.
That's
because
true.
They're not very specific with
That's true.
But anyways, we don't give a fuck. Okay, we're basically COVID-idiots at this point.
Oh, God.
I'm just kidding, guys.
We are not
We're following the rules. Daniel moved out.
I did.
Woo-hoo!
I finally moved out, guys. I'm living downtown. Super exciting.
Yes, very exciting. He's finally a grown boy.
I am.
You is a big boy.
I've definitely been putting on a bit of weight, so I'm a big boy.
Oh God, we missed recording together.
We did, yeah.
So.
It's so much nicer in person.
I know.
Oh, it's just.
Are you sure it's not just because the editing is easier?
Well, that too. The editing is so much easier when we're together.
Oh my God! Although we had some technical difficulties starting this because, anyways, we won't bore you with the details.
No.
Hello, everybody. So today we have some news.
We have a bunch of news, a bunch of stories. But should we talk about the situation that's going on in Alberta right now, or do you think that's boring?
I mean, it's kind of boring, but sure.
Oh God, dang.
We can touch on it for 5 minutes. Because how many people are listening from Alberta? Very few.
That's true, actually. Majority of our listeners are in the United States of America.
Where they're vaccinating people like
crazy.
God.
This is the thing that's crazy, okay? I was reading an article about Joe Biden the other day, and they were talking about how in the US, yes, okay, granted, their numbers were insane and they had a massive spike and everything. But their vaccine program is so good. It's literally they're vaccinating so many people, and I think that's the aim of the game, right?
Yeah.
So, and here in Canada, we are doing absolutely terrible.
Are we one of the worst?
I think we're probably one of the
Shut
worst.
up. Seriously?
If you look at I don't know, US, UK.
Well, I feel bad for Ontario because apparently they're in the longest lockdown. I think they actually have the longest lockdown.
Really?
But the problem with their lockdown, I think, as far as I can see, is that again, it's here where it's kind of ambiguous and it's not very, so, and people aren't fully, actually locking down. So I don't know. I don't know what's happening.
In Quebec, they have a curfew.
I mean, I don't even know if that's.
No, it's true.
No, I know it's true, but is that effective is the question.
I don't know. But apparently they have these restrictions at they have restaurants and stuff are closed and they have a curfew. You have to be home by 8 o'clock or something.
Yeah, something like that.
So if you're even just driving around, they'll be what are you doing?
Yeah.
Driving by yourself.
I know it's insane. It's insane. There's no logic to some of these. Anyway, I don't know what's happening, but basically
it's depressing as hell. And we're regressing.
We are regressing. We've just announced another kind of going back to stage 1.
Yeah. Of our stage reopening plans.
Oh my God, insane. So no more indoor dining anymore.
Nope. But there is one positive light in the tunnel, which I don't know if it's actually going to happen, but they said that our vaccinations, they're supposed to vaccinate every adult Albertan by end of June.
I really hope that's the case, but I don't trust them.
I know. It's because if you look at even the graph, I pulled up this graph, which you can get on the Government of Alberta website that shows the vaccinations over time. And it's basically there was a spike in January, then it went to pretty much zero in February because we had no shipments.
I think it's the supply. That's the thing. That's why in the US it's a lot easier because they actually make it themselves.
Exactly. That's the
issue. Why can't we learn how to make the shit?
Well, this is the thing. We have lots of pharmaceutical companies in Canada.
Right.
So there's no real I feel like
I thought
reason.
but I thought we were also like, they shared the vaccine like
Recipe?
Yeah.
The recipe?
With us. I thought, because we're part of some kind of like
coalition.
Because like I know that there was some kind of drama with not even drama, but like a discussion around whether pharmaceutical companies should share the recipe with like third world countries or developing countries, and that was like a big there was like a big issue around that because they were like discussing whether or not that should be the case, and I'm like, this is so fucked up.
Well, and you know what it comes down to with that situation?
What?
Why they didn't want to share the recipes?
Because it's money.
Because of capitalism. Goddamn, guys, ruining our lives.
Oh my god.
The root of all evil.
We're becoming an anti-capitalist podcast.
But like,
as we sit here with our cameras, I know somebody commented about how. The thing is, it's hard to be anti-capitalist because anyone's going to be like, well, you're benefiting from capitalism. We're all benefiting in some ways from capitalism in some ways.
Yeah.
You know, even just having a podcast and having all these things, you could say potentially it was because of capitalism.
Exactly.
But at the same time, it's like, we're not in denial that like there are some benefits of capitalism
of course,
or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's just, there are so many bad things that come from extreme capitalism that we're seeing right now.
I think
that's the main point.
I think that it's like that whole story of life where they're always like, I don't know, growing up, like your parents are all, well, at least my parents are always like, you know, everything in like moderation, life is all about balance. And I feel like it comes like, at least from my opinion of like politics and stuff like that, it's the same with like capitalism. I think anything in an extreme form always seems to have issues and always seems to have like capitalism or communism or what, you know, whatever, they have issues. Whereas like, I feel like, if you leave capitalism to be unregulated, that's where the issues are. But there's a lot of benefits from capitalism as well. But it's just that you need to have some balance in there.
Yes.
Because people are naturally greedy and people are naturally...
Are they? Or are we designed that way because of capitalism?
I don't know. God dang.
Is it nature or is it nurture?
That's a very good question, Rose. Is it nature or nurture?
I don't know.
I
think it's a little bit of both.
Yeah.
And I think that when you put people that are, maybe a little bit selfish, of course we have a certain level of selfishness because we need to survive.
Yeah.
But then when you put that with capitalism, it multiplies,
exacerbates the problem.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Anyways, we're not talking about capitalism today. At least not.
Goddamn.
That's not the main point.
We always go there.
We are going to go back to it at some point. I'm sure.
We always go there.
But I see a little story here, Daniel.
I have pulled up a few stories, guys. There's a couple.
Oh shit! This looks fucking serious.
A couple for today. Have you heard about this story?
I think I've heard about it, but I haven't read too deep into it. Did we talk about this story?
No, we didn't.
Okay.
But the thing is, it kind of lines up with other stories that we've talked about. So there's a couple of stories today. So the first one we're going to talk about, guys, is I guess this YouTubers called the Stokes twins. They've been sentenced to do community service for pulling a fake robbery YouTube prank.
Interesting.
Now, what had happened was they over the course of like I think it was over 3 days. So the prank that was at the center of this case was filmed over 3 days and involved the twins running around acting as if they had robbed a bank. So they wore all black. They had like a duffel bag where they'd run past people and like drop cash and stuff. Like, so people would like, you'd just be sitting, like, let's say you're at a park bench and you'd see these kids running by. And then they also, at one point, they got into an Uber. And they wanted their Uber to serve as their like getaway car.
Oh my god!
And the driver became really, really uncomfortable, right? Because he didn't know what was going on. So he like was like, "Hey, you guys need to leave. Like, get out of the car." And people saw these guys getting out of this Uber with this like money, whatever. They called 911.
Yeah.
Apparently, this resulted in the police. They came to the scene where the Uber driver was and ordered the Uber driver out of his car at gunpoint.
What?
Before learning what was going on.
Was the Uber driver black?
I didn't specify.
Anyway.
And I guess they gave the boys a warning at this point. They said, like, don't do this. And
they were given a warning.
Yeah.
Okay.
4 hours later, the twins continued filming their prank
shut up.
on a nearby university campus.
Okay. Well, they deserve more than community service, in my opinion.
100%.
Okay. And then what else happened?
That's pretty.
So then they kept going, and then they got caught again, and then they were charged community service for how long? What does community service entail?
So like community service can be a bunch of different things, but it's just like basically acts of service in the community.
Have you ever done any acts of service to the community, Daniel?
I don't know if you could call what I do a community service, but no. Just kidding. No, I did actually. When I was younger, I was part of a youth group, and one of the things that we did, which I think would be considered community service, is we like helped out at like the downtown at the homeless, like giving out food to homeless people, or like quite often community service involves like roadside cleanup,
right?
Cleaning up. You know, when you see people like picking up litter in the parks and stuff.
Oh God, that's such a fucking easy punishment. Like that's not even a punishment for that kind of fucking action.
I know there could be a lot like other. I don't know. There could be other things that are community service, but those are the first things that come to mind.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Like doing some kind of like road work or I don't know, whatever.
Basically, it's like volunteering your time for free to do things within the community. So whatever that might entail, like at a soup kitchen or at a drop-in center or, you know, any of those things. So
do you think the punishment fits the crime, Daniel?
I don't think so.
Do you think they deserve jail?
Well, I guess I wish it specified in this article how much. Here we go.
Do they have to pay anything?
Here we go. Instead, okay, so
160 hours of community service, 1 year formal probation.
Yeah.
And was ordered required to pay an unspecified amount of restitution. Okay, interesting.
So that's not so bad. So I guess what had happened was they were charged with a felony count of false imprisonment and misdemeanor counts of falsely reporting an emergency. They pled guilty. That's why they got a lesser sentence.
Oh God, yeah.
So they were like, "Yep, we're guilty. We did this. Blah 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 blah." I mean,
sorry guys, we had some technical difficulties, but what I was saying was, so they got only community service because they took a plea bargain because they could have faced for felony count for false imprisonment false imprisonment.
Yeah.
No, wait, that's not what I'm saying. That's what was I reading before? It was something about 4. No, go down.
Maximum right here. They were facing a maximum of 5 years in jail.
So sorry, I was technical
We've had
difficulties.
some serious technical difficulties today.
So yes, it's a big deal because they were facing a maximum of 5 years in jail if they were convicted of all counts. What do we think of this?
I think in many ways, I hope, and I think that this is a good thing because I feel like there's these trends on YouTube have gotten, like not just YouTube, TikTok, all of these things have gotten out of control where people are thinking, oh, it's so funny, like let's do this prank and stuff. And like, you know, I get it. People like these twins, I mean, they're 24 years old.
They are too old to be acting like that. They look fucking 18.
I know they look so young, but apparently they're 24. But like, at the end of the day, it's like you kind of know better. Like I knew when I was like 15 to not fucking pretend to rob a bank.
Oh my God, seriously.
You know what I mean? Like,
God, and like white privilege, anybody? Imagine if black kids started doing this. They'd be dead, dude. Are you kidding me?
This is the crazy thing. Yeah. It's like, what are you thinking running around town and
white privilege?
Damn. And then after, the worst part of this story too is after being told off by the police officer. So first of all, the poor Uber driver got like,
oh my God, I'd be fucking scared shit, dude.
Oh my God. And they pulled a gun out on this Uber driver, not the police, and said, you know, get out, because they didn't know if he was an accomplice. And then once they figured out what had happened, they told the kids, they were like, the two 24-year-old brothers, like, you guys, this is a warning, like, don't be doing this shit, like, blah, blah, blah. And what do? Fucking continue at a university.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like, what the hell,
They have
guys?
30 million TikTok followers. This generation is fucked.
Yeah, but it's because, and you said it really well, because we've talked about, like, this is why you thought that we talked about this story before, because we talked about similar ones.
Right,
you know, there was that incident of 2 guys that, like, ran at somebody with a knife in a park as, like, a prank and ended up getting shot. You know what I mean? Like,
wait, did one of them die? I can't remember.
Yeah, I think one of them did die.
I can't even.
Yeah, but like we're just hearing more and more of these stories, and it's like, guys, like just use a little bit of common sense.
Yeah.
Like it's just because everybody is so hungry
for fame.
Everybody wants to be these TikTok stars. Everybody wants to be like that generation is like hungry for it, and they're like literally willing to do everything and anything to do it, which is so dangerous, and we're seeing the like effects of it. And I hope that they start cracking down more on this stuff, because you know maybe it'll start teaching people lessons, and people will think twice.
Yeah, hopefully.
But I mean, you know, people probably still won't think twice, because you know people be crazy as hell.
Oh God.
You know what I'm saying?
And I feel like they got away with it.
Yeah.
Again, it's like it's rich white boy privilege.
I know. I mean, what does 1 year of formal probation even mean? Like, do they have a
I think that means like, they have to like basically be on their best behavior. Yeah. I think. But I could be wrong. Anyways.
But some of these people, they just don't learn their lesson. Like, I just think back to...
Well, like, think about the bribery scandal. the college bribery scandal.
Oh
Did
my
you watch
God.
that documentary?
I did, yeah.
Insane.
Guys.
The audacity of these people. Rich people privilege.
The worst part about this documentary too. Oh God, there's
what is it called? Is it just called college admission scandal?
No, I think it's called something else. It could be.
Anyways,
it could be
it's on
college
Netflix.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I know.
Like there was a really important point where they were like, this just really completely emphasizes that whole idea of privilege, because they were like, you know, not only are these kids of these like mega wealthy families, not only do they have access to the best tutors, the best like high school and like education possible, now even with access to all of this stuff, their parents are still cheating to get them in. So it's like you've already been given all of this opportunity to have the best chance to get in over other people, and yet they're still cheating.
Yep.
Like, oh my God.
I know, right?
I honestly was like, when I watched it, I just got more and more angry, because I was
know.
like, the whole time thinking about it, I was like, literally they had people, they cheated to write their tests, so they would pretend to be like, you know, what's it called? Like
they, oh God, what
got
was
more time.
They got more time, like, yeah, so they can pretend to be like disabled,
learning disability or something,
and got more time. And also one thing that they did as well, there was a guy that would
change their answers.
Yes, that would sit there as like the testing person, and then after the kid left, and the poor kids, some of these kids, like they had no idea this was happening. Imagine how fucking embarrassing that is.
So embarrassing.
Anyway, so that happened. So then after the kid left, after they were done the test, this guy would just go and change their answers.
Yeah.
So that they would get a better result.
I mean, it's just the whole thing was crazy. And it was also crazy on the college admissions part as well, in the sense that, like, obviously to get into like Harvard and some of these ones, like these universities, it's so difficult. But they keep a certain number of spaces open for these like sports scholarships and stuff, right? And these sports kind of ways. So this guy would like target like niche sports areas like sailing and random things, and like have deals with those.
Excuse me.
God damn, bless you, Rose. I'll be cute as hell. And it's just even bad because the coaches were taking bribes, and like there was just so much stuff happening.
I just can't believe how many people were willing to like take so many of these bribes and like do all, like, because like you have to have a lot of people in on this, right?
Oh, huge.
Like he had people in like every fucking Ivy League school, right?
Yeah,
school.
He would have had to.
And because like, he would have like a coach in it, and just the audacity, because like it's like the lie is so obvious too. Like some of these kids like never even played the sports.
Exactly.
Like for example, the Full House
polo or something.
I think there's like a few different things that they could do. Like for example, like one of the most famous names out of this whole scandal was Olivia Jade, who's the daughter of Lori Loughlin, who's in Full House, which is like it's so sad. I grew up watching Full House. I loved Aunt Becky. Anyways,
Becky, why did you do that?
I know, Aunt Becky. So why?
Bad.
Shame on you, Aunt Becky. And then Olivia Jade, because she was a popular YouTuber, and she still is, by the way. I think she's like bounced back and they're watching her again. But anyway, but yeah, she pretended to be on the rowing team. And if it turns out, because everyone was like saying, oh, maybe they didn't know that they were like, you know, like some kids, they didn't know, but they knew. Like in that documentary, they were like, yeah, basically they knew. They all had like a group chat in the family being like, oh yeah, my teacher is like asking questions. Anyways, it's so fucked. But the more fucked up thing is, like, this is just the illegal way of doing it, but there are so many legal ways of doing basically the same thing. Like, for example, it just costs a lot more money.
Exactly. They were saying this was like the budget backdoor way, which would still cost you like,
it was still like 500,000 to a million.
It was like, I was gonna say like 200 to 500,000, I think it was.
Up to a million, I think.
Yeah, up to a million. But I think what they said in the documentary is they were like, if you were a really wealthy family, you could donate like 10 million to the university. And then you have a better chance of your son or daughter getting in, but it's still not guaranteed.
Right.
Only if you make a donation of like, I think it was like 50 plus million or something ridiculous.
Oh my God.
Then your child is guaranteed a spot. And the crazy thing about these universities, which they also touched on the documentary, is like, all it is a name. Like the education that you get at a variety of different institutions across like the US or Canada or wherever you go to do your post-secondary, like a lot of the like branding and the name for Harvard and all of these like exclusive universities doesn't necessarily mean that you're getting a better education.
Yeah.
You know, like you might still get the same jobs as somebody else that didn't go to Harvard. You know what I mean? Like I always reflect back, like my first job, I worked at a bank, and one of the guys that had the exact same job as me, we were all in this like grad scheme. He actually went to Harvard.
Really?
Yeah. So not only did he pay a shit ton more for his university, like probably like, I don't know, so much more than I paid, we were doing the same job and getting paid the same amount of money.
Oh, how do you know you were getting paid the same amount of money?
Well, because it was like a grad scheme, so they hired everyone around the same like threshold or whatever.
Yeah, but I mean, in the States, they care a lot about that shit.
That's true.
And so does, like, for example, in Korea as well, they care a lot about which university you went to. And even in the UK, I remember when I worked in recruitment, they would always talk about, oh, this girl went to Cambridge, Oxford University.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh my God, who the fuck gives a shit, dude?
At the end of the day, these are just names of universities.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, okay, people might argue, oh, you get the connections and
definitely. I think it's more of a connection game.
Yeah.
But people assume, like when I was young, for sure, I assumed, and there is some truth to this, so I don't want to completely say that it's not true.
Yeah.
But I always just assume that if you're really smart, you get into these really prestigious schools. But there's so much more involved with this.
Yeah.
For example, it's not necessarily because you're really smart, but it's because you had the most opportunity to have better grades because you had the tutors and your parents are constantly telling you to go to these schools, and you have the money to go to these schools, and sometimes you have the money to bribe these schools.
Exactly. So there's so many different factors. And you're right. Like, another really good point to make as well is, like, for example, again, this whole idea of privilege, like if you're at school, your parents are paying for a tutor. Also, if you don't have to work a part-time job, you have time to do extracurricular activities, volunteering, all of that stuff.
Which makes you look really good on the resume.
Exactly. So on your application, you're going to look better than somebody that maybe had to work a part-time job to help their family out, but while still going to school, got lower grades because, again, they don't have as much time to study. So there's so many different factors. Like, yeah, you're right. It's not just because somebody's smart. If somebody's given if everybody had the same equal opportunities to like excel in school, like I'm sure there'd be a lot more people that would be doing better. For sure. So
yeah, wow. I love how we just went straight into a different topic.
I know.
But I kind of wanted to talk about that movie. And I do like the fact that in the movie they did discuss, like, it wasn't just about this particular bribery scandal, but they discussed that there are ways of doing, basically this whole system is corrupt and fucked up. Yeah. And they kind of like touched on that, which I liked. Because I know everyone was like, oh my God, this college bribery scandal, which, like, for sure we should shame these people and it shouldn't happen. But like at the same time, they're not doing anything that different from what's legally allowed to do.
Exactly. And it is just, again, like, and I think the thing that really drove it home for me with that documentary is the fact, and they did like emphasize this a few times, it's like, we're talking about already super privileged people and they're still cheating. You're already given a head start and you're still fucking cheating. Like, that to me is like so fucking ridiculous. I know. I think I mentioned this, or you mentioned this before on this podcast, but there was a really good like YouTube, I think it was like a video where they talked about like privilege and stuff, and they had like a line of kids to like all start in a line together, and then there was a guy at the very end like of this field that had like $100, and he's like, basically we're all gonna have a race and whoever gets here first gets this $100. And then he was like, would ask them questions, and based on their answer to the questions, they either take a step forward or a step back. So automatically, he's like, oh, if your parents are still together, take a step forward, like little things like this. And eventually, then he said, if you look around you, he's like, just there's people that are starting way ahead of other people. Doesn't necessarily mean that they have more skills or anything else. They're just having a higher opportunity to get to these, a higher chance to get to these opportunities than other people.
That's true.
God damn.
But yeah, anyways, so that's story number 1, and also our take on the college admission scandal. Very, very. You should watch it, guys. You should definitely watch it. It's actually a really good movie, although it's a little cheesy, some of the acting, isn't it? Oh yeah, some of it's it's kind of like acted out, like it's like a documentary, but they also like implement some acting. But yeah, the audacity of these people.
And the guy organizing it all, though, he was like such a interesting character. Like he's
not even in jail yet.
That's what's crazy. But this is we see this time and time again with these more kind of like, we would call it like white collar kind of corporate crimes. Yes. It's so funny because like you have somebody commit like murder or something like this, even depending on where they sit in the social standing, some of those people aren't fucking going to jail right away either. Yeah. So it's like,
but he's not in jail because he basically he helped with the investigation.
That's right. Yeah.
This guy, here's the thing. Even if you were a Weasley person and you wanted to, like, even if you were a shit person and you wanted to do something like this, you have to realize that people that are willing to do shit like this, like for example, that guy that was basically organizing this whole thing, he's gonna fucking rat you out as 100%. Soon as his fucking life is on the line. So why would you trust that guy? You know,
you deal with shady people, and shady people will time and time again.
What makes you think he's gonna be honest with you?
Exactly.
Bitch?
Like guys, like let's just be real here. Like
all that money can't buy the brains.
Exactly. You deal with shady people and you're going to get shady outcomes.
Yeah. And anyway, I think my point with this whole college scandal was that these people got a slap on the wrist,
Yeah.
essentially. Because I think Lori Loughlin, for example, and the husband, I think she got like 1 month in prison or something. And then like her husband got like maybe 3 or 4 months, which is probably one of the...
We also have to remember though, when they say that these people are going to prison, it's not like the prison that we think of. It's like
What kind of prison do you think they're going to?
There's like different...
like less security?
Yeah.
Oh.
They're not going to maximum security. They're going to like more kind of like bougie prisons. Yeah. Cause I know like, for example, was it Lindsay Lohan or someone else was like under like, you know, in a prison and house arrest and all this kind of stuff. And just be careful. Goddamn, Rose, you don't know what's going to happen.
Well, I want them to be able to hear you.
Oh, goddamn. So that be a situation.
Oh, so they're going to a bougie prison, you think?
That's what I think. Like, I mean, I'm pretty sure I've heard about these prisons where it's like...
Right, because they're like, oh my God, we can't put these people in,
they're too high risk, you know, of
they're going to...
offenders,
right.
You know what I mean? Because they have money, right? And if you have money in prison, like...
I really wonder now, what do these prisons look like? Are they like Norway prisons?
I don't know. Goddamn, Rose. I'm hoping to never end up in prison, so I'm not going to be able to tell you because I would not survive.
Oh, God damn, you would not survive.
God damn, I'll be dead after one day.
Seriously.
God damn.
Honestly. Oh, God.
So the next story that we have, guys.
What is the next story,
Daniel?
Daniel?
Well, there's a couple. There's a really
okay,
kind of like...
tell me. Are you very uncomfortable right now?
No, it's not too bad.
I'm sorry. Maybe we need a better... guys, once we, make some more monies... By the way, Patreon link down below. No, I'm just kidding. No, but maybe we'll invest in some better...
equipment or some kind of...
we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
I mean, I'm not so uncomfortable.
We cool.
Yeah, I think there was something wrong with my cord, but now we seem to have fixed it, so it's all right, guys. You know,
maybe we should record it at your place on your tiny couch.
Oh, God damn. We could do that, you know?
So, guys, I have to tell a story.
Oh, God. Do we have to, Rose?
Yes. So when Daniel was looking for an apartment, I went with him to a couple of places because I wanted to see. And I also am like Daniel's mother and I can't trust his decision making.
This is true.
Which, I mean, you will understand why I can't trust his decision making.
After this story.
Yeah. So I saw a couple places with him. One place, Daniel said it was too small. And he just kept going on and on about how he wants to get a big couch. He's like, it's too small for the couch I'm thinking of getting. I want to get a big couch with like a sectional couch that's like really big. And I feel like it's not going to fit this couch. And I was like, Daniel, I feel like it's going to fit a couch. Like, you'll be fine. You don't need to get a giant couch. He's like, no, I really want to get a big couch. And then anyways, he ended up going for a different place than the two that we saw together because he saw a different place without me. Luckily, I mean, that place is decent. Your place is decent. I like it. And so then I wanted to see his place. So on the day that you moved, was it the day that you moved in?
Yeah.
I went over, and as soon as I walk in, what do I see? The world's tiniest couch I have ever seen in my life. I was like, Daniel, is this your new couch? He's like, yes. I was like, you literally got a miniature Barbie doll sized fucking couch.
The thing is, actually...
And you went on and on and on and on about getting a big sectional.
The thing is, guys...
You just had no idea how much a couch costs.
Well, yeah,
right?
that's part of it, because couches are hella fucking
They
expensive. But also, like, this couch, okay, it is really small, but it's actually growing on me. I'm actually like liking it a bit more. And, I had...
well, I mean, if you're by yourself, sure. If you plan on never having a cuddle buddy.
Well, we in the vid, so I never. That ship has sailed.
Someone, what if you're going to get COVID tested, and then you lock eyes with some hot man?
I've looked for that in my entire life.
Well, let's hope he has a normal human-sized couch.
Yeah. So then we can just cuddle on there. That works. But you're right. It's funny because I was like going on about this like huge sectional because I love like big sectional couches because like you can just like lay on it. And it's so
you'd think that you hated them because you got literally the opposite.
It's still a sectional.
I mean, I guess you could say that.
We both fit on it.
Barely, Daniel.
Quite comfortably.
Barely, Daniel. Well, I was saying that when I was sitting on the sectional part, my feet were dangling. And I am a very short human being. I feel like it would fit like half of you.
Oh my God.
Anyways, that was me making fun of Daniel because it's funny.
Yeah.
This is why I can't trust Daniel's decision-making skills.
Anyway, moving on to our story of the day, guys. So this one's a little bit of a interesting one.
Okay, interesting.
So I guess basically Amazon was under some backlash. Did you hear about this?
Yes, I've heard about this.
Oh God, it's such a good story. So basically, I guess a Republican politician, Mark Pocan, he tweeted, I guess Amazon had said something about being a progressive workplace and whatever else. And so he tweeted, paying workers $15 an hour doesn't make you a progressive workplace when you union bust and make your workers urinate in water bottles.
Do you know the story of the urination?
I don't know.
So basically, because Amazon works their workers so much, and because I think they have a certain quota of like what they have to do in their certain time. Exactly.
Yeah.
So they have a certain time frame. And so if they don't meet that quota, then maybe they get fired or something. I don't know, right? So in order to meet the quota, it's not like they're saying you need to urinate in water bottles. Yeah. But because they don't have time to take a restroom break, they the workers have had to urinate in, fucking water bottles and stuff.
So you're right. So the company doesn't explicitly tell the workers. They say it kind of
but they create conditions in which you're a human being. You're going to have to go to the fucking bathroom.
Exactly. Especially if you're driving for long periods of time, you're going to be drinking water probably.
Yeah.
But basically, the funny part about this whole scandal is this politician tweeted, you can't call yourself progressive. You're making people urinate in water bottles. Amazon replied to the Twitter, and they said, if this were true, nobody would work for us.
Which is such a cop out.
I know, which is their response. The funny thing is, though, is all of a sudden now the company's coming back and apologizing after evidence emerged of drivers having to urinate in bottles.
It's actually so bad. And then now I think what's happening right now is that they're trying to unionize, but then Amazon obviously doesn't want them to unionize because that means they actually have to treat their workers like human beings.
Well, exactly. I don't know because I have a mixed feeling about unions because I actually was I was in a union before.
Oh.
Did you know this, Rose?
What union, Daniel?
So my very first job, guys, was at the Calgary Co-op. And the Calgary Co-op at the time, I'm not sure I think it still is, but at the time I was part of a union. So we were unionized workers. And actually at the time when I started there, the salaries were way more than minimum wage. It was actually it was a good place to work at the time. And when I first started, I think it was 2 or 3 years in, they were doing a contract negotiation. And it went on for so long. So we literally worked for a year without a contract. So just on our previous salary and stuff. And the union was supposed to negotiate on our behalf for raises and everything else. And they did the worst job. I feel
interesting.
And I'm what did they actually accomplish? Do you know what I mean? I understand that unions are under a lot of pressure though as well. But I don't know. I just felt in that example, I was what have they helped us? They didn't really.
So they didn't, what do you mean? So they didn't do anything?
Well, we still got raises, but they were so small and we didn't get back.
But you were already getting paid more than minimum wage.
Yes.
That's because you were in a union, was it not?
Potentially. I don't know. Yeah.
So I think you're right. It's not a black and white situation. And I don't know enough about unions, but I do think that overall, they're probably better for workers than not.
Yeah.
Especially in a situation like Amazon, for example.
Yeah.
So I think in this kind of situation, this particular situation, you're probably better off if you're unionized. Yeah. Although again, I don't know that much about unions.
True. I think from my understanding of unions, I think generally they work better in more kind of service orientated industries where people can band together and in more, I guess it could work in offices, but I'm just not sure how it would work the same way.
I don't know how it all works.
Yeah. Because with a union you can band, basically you can band together, you can go on unionized strikes, you can do things like that. So a lot of for example, transit, usually they're part of a union. I think healthcare workers are quite often part of a union.
Yeah. So what happens so let's say Amazon decides, we're going to be part of a union.
Yeah.
What happens then?
So then from my limited understanding, so there'll be a union that basically would be the representation of the employees when it comes down to contract negotiations, when it comes down to working conditions. They have a voice of all the employees. Okay. So it's almost like you have an elected board.
Right. Okay. So then they could be Amazon, please give us this minimum wage per your workers. Yeah. And if you don't, then we're all going to go on strike.
Yes.
Okay.
That's kind of the premise of a union. And for example, they could say, in an 8-hour shift, employees are entitled to have 2 15-hour restroom breaks. It has to be done. If not, we're going to go on strike.
15-hour restroom breaks? What you be doing in the restroom, Daniels?
Oh, God, you don't want to know. God damn. 15-minute breaks.
Right.
Apologize. Pardon my French.
Uh-huh. Well, I think it's interesting. I know that they weren't even paying $15 to their workers. They were paying them basically minimum wage, I think, Amazon. They're such a fucking shit company.
This is the thing that gets
me. They
really
really are.
This is the thing that gets me about all of these big companies. You hear this again, time and time again, fucking pisses me off because it's like these companies are multi-billion-dollar companies.
Jeff Bezos, richest man on earth.
Exactly. And yet they're shafting a lot of their employees.
But that's how they become I swear, my theory is if you're a billionaire, you're probably a shady fucking human being. Honestly, you can't get to that level unless you like fucked over some people. I swear to God. You know that movie Devil Wears Prada?
Yeah.
Fucking iconic movie, by the way.
I love that movie.
But there's like that scene at the very end when like Meryl Streep and Anne Hathaway, they're in the car.
Yeah.
And basically Anne Hathaway is like fucking pissed off and she's shocked that Meryl Streep like fucked over her, like friend and colleague, right?
Yeah.
Because like there's like a scene where she fucks him over. Anyways.
Yeah.
So anyways, and then Anne says to Meryl, I forgot all their name. How can you do that to him?
Yeah.
That's horrible. And then Meryl Streep is like, you've already done it too. You just have to do it in this game.
Yeah.
And then basically because Anne decided to come to Paris when her other colleague was supposed to come.
Yeah.
Anyways, oh my God, what a fucking iconic.
There was a lot of, but then Anne had the realization. She's like, holy shit, like.
You don't want to be part of this?
Yeah. I'm like,
right. And
wow.
then she left.
Yeah. And then she quit right then and there, pretty much. Got out of the taxi and like walked off. But she was right. She's like, look, you've already done it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And even there was another scene where she was talking to the guy that Meryl Streep fucked over in the film, and she was like, oh my God, everything's going on in my life. He's like, you know what? When your life is in shambles, like your relationships, everything else, you're probably up for a promotion. Because everything else in your life is suffering.
Right. That means you're working really hard at your job.
Working really hard.
Interesting.
Yeah. So it's such a good film.
But anyways, no, I really want to watch it again.
Oh, goddamn.
So that's Amazon for you.
Shall we watch it?
Is it on Netflix?
I don't think so.
Potentially. I got work to do.
Oh God damn, yeah. And you got things to do, people to see.
Okay, I know this story too. Oh my God, I spend way too much time on the internet.
Oh my God.
I just heard this today. Did you watch Philip DeFranco?
Yeah.
Is that why? I'm like, I feel like all these stories came from one video.
No, they definitely didn't. There was some other stuff, okay? But some of them did.
So this story, guys, is regarding the Cash Me Outside. How about that, girl? Also known as Bhad Bhabie.
Yeah. Is it
with an H?
I thought it was. I wasn't sure if it was Bhad Bhabie.
Bhad Bhabie.
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 Alexis, you don't know the troubles that a bebe will cause the mother. Schitt's Creek reference there for all of you guys.
I listened to the episode where we talk about Schitt's Creek, and I realized that we both put on like the weirdest British sounding accent when we reference Moira. But anyways,
anyway.
So Bhad Bhabie made over $1 million on her first 6 hours on OnlyFans.
Yes. So there's a couple things wrong with this story. Okay. First of all,
she just turned 18, right?
She literally just turned 18.
She turned 18 and then she was like, I'm going to sign up for OnlyFans. Yeah. Correct?
So you basically, like, I think she was
waiting.
Yeah, she was waiting until, because obviously, for those of you that don't know, OnlyFans has been like, it's like an online subscription service. And
it's known for adult entertainment.
Exactly. It's like where creators go and it's like, they have like explicit pictures or things that they don't necessarily want on the World Wide Web, I guess. They can treat their fans to nudes. Or more, and like live chat with them and do all kinds of stuff, right? So anyway, Bhad Bhabie, I think that's what we need to call her.
Bhad Bhabie.
Which again, the fact that this girl is famous already kind of bothers me.
Yeah, what is she actually? Is she like a rapper?
So she's become a rapper. So she's like a rapper now. I haven't heard any of her stuff. I don't know if it's any good.
I refuse.
But like literally, she's become famous from being on Dr. Phil.
Yes. Which have you heard that story? Okay, we'll talk about that story after this.
Well, no, come on, tell me now.
Are you sure?
We can cut in and then talk about this after.
So basically, just a few weeks ago, I think, she actually made the news before, like a couple weeks ago, because she made this video calling out Dr. Phil, being like, Dr. Phil, you basically sent me to, because again, she was on the...
that she was abused.
Yeah, so like she was sent to this like camp, and it sounds almost like similar to like Paris Hilton's story, where she kind of got like kidnapped and like put into this camp, and basically apparently in this camp people like they take away your phone and stuff. So what she said was like there's no evidence of this because you can't record anything, but like there's multiple people that have come out, and like I totally believe her when it comes to this. And they say that like the some people got sexually abused and they would just emotionally mentally abuse you and stuff. And then she was like, I don't know what happened with that story, because I remember watching that video. And she basically was like, Dr. Phil, if she has like the funniest accent too. I can't do it, but she's like, Dr. Phil, you better come out and apologize. Otherwise, I'm going to handle things my way.
Oh, goddamn.
She gave like a date, and I don't know if we've passed that date yet.
Yeah.
But she was like, if you don't apologize by April something, it was April something.
Yeah.
Then I'm going to handle things my way. Also known as probably
catch
a
me
lawsuit.
outside. She going to catch him outside.
She going to catch him outside.
How about that?
How about that?
I mean, that was, to be fair, like that. I did watch that viral video, and it was quite funny. And it's horrible that she went through that experience. I mean, I don't wish that upon anyone.
Yeah.
It sounds like
Dr.
a lot.
Phil's so fucking toxic.
I know. It sounds like a lot of. I feel like Dr. Phil's really condescending as well. The way he talks.
He
to people
also,
and
did
stuff.
you know he's also not qualified to? He's not a psychiatrist.
Is he not a doctor?
I think he has like a. He's definitely not a psychiatrist.
Oh,
so he's not qualified. Like, I think he's a doctor in some way. Maybe he
Okay.
has like some kind of weird PhD situation.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? Let me Google this quickly.
Okay, you
and now
you
tell
Google
this
it.
story.
Okay, guys. So I'll read you guys the story, and then we're gonna talk about everything that's
Why
wrong
it's
with it.
messed up.
Yeah. So Bhad Bhabie has claimed that she earned over $1 million in her first 6 hours on OnlyFans. We already mentioned OnlyFans is kind of like been synonymous with explicit content. It's where creators go and can give all kinds of stuff to their fans. And she's been charging $23.99 a month for access to photos and videos, and also has said to subscribers that they have the opportunity to direct message her. For the first 6 hours, apparently she broke the OnlyFans record. She did a screenshot on her Instagram of how much she made in the first 6 hours.
Oh my God.
And subscriptions alone was nearly $800,000. She got over $5,000 in tips. And then for messages, she got another 260, almost 300, well, 267,000.
Oh wait, so she can make money from people messaging her.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you pay for the subscription, then you can get tips on top of that. And then people can also message you.
And then they have to pay to message you.
Yeah. And so,
oh my God.
Yeah. And this is probably after platform fees and stuff, right? Like she's just showing her total gross. Oh no, maybe not.
I think this is not net.
Yeah.
So this, but still, like what the fuck?
So she made, $1 million in 6 hours.
And so the reason why it's fucking fucked up is like, I think we've talked about this before, where I just feel like there's such a, how do I say? Society is funny because this is okay. She just turned 18.
Yeah.
Just turned 18. And now she's selling nudes. Fine. Okay, great. But it's like, and I know, again, like there's no black or white answer to this, but at the same time, it's like we fucking put people like through hell if they even talk to someone that's 17.
Yeah.
But as soon as they turn 18, everything is different. Now they can sell nudes. They can do whatever the fuck they want. They can fuck whoever they want. And it's completely fine. Whereas it's like, it's so like, come on.
It's crazy.
Know? It's insane.
The thing that gets me about this story though, is the fact that
people are waiting.
Like it's like, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It is.
That's why I'm saying it's like so creepy.
It's so creepy. Like you obviously had, because like literally, so it's $24 a subscription. You had almost 800,000 in subscriptions. So how many people is that? That's a freaking. Let's just work out how many fucking people.
It is creepy, but at the same time, I mean, again, but the thing is, like we've talked about this, where it's like, people. Again, not condoning,
almost 34,000 people.
34,000 people. I mean, obviously I'm not condoning that we, hit on minors or whatever. Okay. That's definitely not what I'm saying. But it's like, we put such an emphasis on that 18 number as if it really means something, when really it's just an arbitrary number that we just put out there. And I mean, to be fair, like most girls develop by the time they're like 13. You know what I mean? So it's like, again, it's like, that number is just kind of pulled out of thin air. So is it really creepy that, like obviously people are still finding her attractive before she was 18.
Exactly.
But it's like, it doesn't change. Like, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's like, it's not like when we turn 18, some flick all of a sudden is like, okay, it's not like a light switch where it's like 18, flick the switch, they're adults now. You know what I mean?
But then we like to demonize and call people creepy when they, let's say, I mean, not just call people creepy, but it's like criminal if you, for example, engage in any sort of, interaction with a minor. So somebody that's below 18. But then 30,000 people waited for her to turn fucking 18 just because that's,
That's when you can tick the box and say this person's 18. They're an adult now. We can look at nudes of her legally.
Again, I'm not saying, like, obviously we need a number. We do need to put something arbitrary out there because obviously we have to protect minors. I totally understand that. But I do think that society can use a little bit of, common sense thinking in different situations.
And also
to me,
judgment,
this is just
right?
as creepy as anything else, but whatever.
It's just kind of funny.
Judgment,
I mean,
exactly.
Like it is just kind of, it's just kind of crazy. I mean, like obviously she's making her money, right? That girl,
she's you know what? Go her.
Make fucking millionaire.
She went on Dr. Phil. She's probably the most successful person to ever come out of Dr. Phil, which by the way, I just Googled. Yeah. You will not believe this.
Let's hear it, Rose.
So Dr. Phil has never been licensed as a physician in any state. However, he is a doctor of philosophy. Which, hey, love me some philosophy.
Yeah.
Love me some philosophy. It says the 69-year-old received his degree from the University of Northern Texas in 1979 and obtained his license to practice psychology in Texas. So I guess he has a PhD in philosophy and got some sort of
certification,
some sort of license to practice psychology.
Yeah.
But he's definitely not a, because the thing is, when you put doctor in front of your name, people they all of a sudden trust you, right? Yeah. Especially when you have a TV show where you talk to people as if you're a fucking, a psychiatrist, which you're not, but they just tend to trust you.
Yeah.
It's deceiving.
Yeah. It's that whole idea though too. It's like that somebody that has a title like doctor and stuff, they have undue influence on other people.
Exactly.
Right? Like because they're in a position of power. And you
I should have got a
them.
PhD just so I could call myself a doctor.
Would you like to be Dr. Rose?
Well, people would take me seriously, wouldn't they?
Oh, God damn, I don't know, Rose. Not with that green hair, let me tell you. Have you seen our doctor? She's the one with the green hair. Hi there, I'm Dr. Rose.
But anyway, so don't trust anyone just because their name has doctor in front of it. They might just be again, not shading philosophy. Okay, God, I love me some philosophy, but it's not really what you're doing right now. You're kind of talking to people about their mental health.
Exactly.
Which you're not qualified to do.
Exactly. And I think the thing is we're so quick to trust somebody just because they have a title or just because they're in a position
they have a lot of money. They have,
exactly. Any of those things. And I think even still, I'm not discrediting doctors or anything like that, but at the same time, when I think there's nothing wrong with questioning what somebody's suggesting or going on. You know what I mean? Using your own common sense as well. Because, people make mistakes, even doctors and people that have PhDs and stuff, they're still human, right? So we all make mistakes and we all is, Well,
Dr. Phil's shady as hell. I wonder if he apologized for that.
Probably not.
I can't believe she made $1 million in what, 1 month? She said?
6 hours, Rose.
6 hours.
She literally opened up an OnlyFans website or whatever, and literally in the first 6 hours of her having that, got $1 million.
It's insane. Well, this is what I'm saying. This is why I find it laughable when people think, "Oh yeah, you just have to work really hard and you'll make a lot of money." You as long as you work hard, you'll make money. No. It doesn't really have much to do with that. It does to some degree.
Yeah.
Obviously, to some degree, but some people just make a lot of money doing absolutely nothing.
Exactly.
So, well, good for her. I hope she's healed from her, catch me outside days.
Yeah. Oh, God damn. When she became a living meme.
At least she made the most out of it.
No, she did.
She made lemonade, dude. Yeah. She made lemonade.
She took that and she
made some sweet $1 million lemonade.
I hope, quite often I think this isn't the case, but I hope in her case that she, has a good financial advisor. She's planning, investments and for retirement and all that kind of stuff. Because
you sound like a boring dad.
I do, but with that kind of money coming in, it's so important to plan because when that train stops rolling, you got to have something to fall back on.
Oh my God. I can't even believe she has so many followers. It looks like she has millions of followers.
She has 18 million followers, 17 million on Instagram.
Insane. What does she do?
Let's look her up.
I feel like we're in the age where it's the less you have talent, the more popular you become.
It's just crazy.
It's crazy.
Yeah, 17.3 million.
Oh, insane.
Followers. Yeah, there's her post. Not bad for 6 hours. We broke the fuck out of the OnlyFans record.
You know what I have to say about this, Daniel?
What?
Tax the rich.
Oh, God damn.
Tax the motherfucking rich.
God damn. Do you think we should start an OnlyFans? No.
I'm thinking about it. Nobody wants to see my old ass on.
Oh, God damn, Rose. I would never want to do that anyway. Again, no shade, whatever. If you want to do that, that's totally fine.
It's kind of shocking how many people are comfortable doing that. It's again, no shade.
There's quite a lot of YouTubers that do it.
So many. I'm actually OnlyFans. I feel like became kind of symbolic in a lot of ways because, you know, and I think it's a good thing because it's less of a taboo thing now, obviously.
Yeah.
But to me, maybe I'm just very traditional or, you know, in some ways. And like, for me, it's like, I would never even think about it.
Yeah.
You know, it's not even like, you know.
But I with like an OnlyFans site, I feel like I don't know. I would feel
you mean it's gonna get leaked and shit?
Well, you know, who knows what could happen? Like people have phones. You know what I mean? Like if you're doing a video, someone could easily.
Well, I think they would have to be okay with that possibility to do an OnlyFans because like it's not like you're just sending it to like, you know, your friend or your boyfriend or girlfriend.
Well, and even then it can get leaked.
Exactly, but if you're putting it out there to strangers, of course they can easily take a picture.
Well, there was a big trend. I don't know if I think it's still going on YouTube. Where do you notice where there will be people that will be like, I paid for this person's OnlyFans site, so you don't have to.
Oh yeah, I've heard
and then they'd like talk about it in their like
but they
video.
Can't show the content.
But they would discuss it.
I just can't believe how many people are like willing to do it.
Yeah.
Because like I don't know, I would like. There's no way.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, I don't know.
But you know, hey, again, if it's gonna make it less taboo, sure. I think that's a good thing. I just
think we're both like uncomfortable like doing that.
Yes, we are uncomfortable because I don't know. We just
because we are prudes.
We're prudes, apparently.
And I don't want to show my naked body to no one.
Nobody, not even one person.
Maybe one person.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think the OnlyFans phenomenon like really shocked me actually because again, like I would never think so many people would join it.
God damn, there's a lot of creators on there, and there's a lot of people.
Do they all have to show like? I mean, I guess there's no like rule that you have to show.
Like
something.
some people, so I think some creators create OnlyFans and they don't like show everything.
Right.
They'll just like maybe they'll do a video,
but it's
with
still
them.
Sexy content.
It is. It would be like,
right.
For example, like if I did an OnlyFans, maybe I'd do videos like with showing my beautiful abs. You know, like showing my six pack.
You want to show me the abs?
You want to see it?
I'll pay you $5.
Oh god damn. But
yeah, it's
crazy,
interesting. It's
crazy.
I mean, you know what? Maybe we should start an OnlyFans.
No, that's not gonna happen, Rose. Sorry, that's just. I draw the line. You know what? You know,
I'm like one of those people. Like I feel uncomfortable if like I have like a little cleavage showing. I'm just like, ooh, do I want to post this? Like I kind of like it, but like, not that I have much cleavage. But like that was a bad example. I don't have cleavage. But like, you know, anything kind of revealing, I'm like, should I post this? You know, and then so. I can't even imagine like showing everything. But again, you know, all power to you.
Exactly. Like, you know what? Bhad Bhabie.
I'm kind of jealous of that kind of confidence. Yeah. You know?
Bhad Bhabie's done well for herself. So, you know what?
Bhabie is doing very well.
Well, and now that she's 18, she's no longer a Bhabie anymore.
She's no longer a Bhabie. What's she going to call herself?
I don't know. I don't know. She can't be Bhad Bhabie anymore.
Bhabie.
I thought it was, for some reason, I thought it was Bhad Barbie or something, but it's like.
It does kind of look like Barbie.
Yeah, Bhad Bhabie.
Bhad Bhabie.
Bhad Bhabie.
I'm shocked. I cannot believe she made so much money. Yeah. Guys, why are we working hard?
I know.
Just fucking make an OnlyFans.
But again, this is to your point. Like literally like that whole concept of working hard and like this is what you have to do to make money. Like you can see time and time again, that's not always the case. You know, it's a lot of it's right place, right time.
Right.
A lot of it can be by chance. You know, I'm not discrediting hard work. Like of course, you know, you do need to work hard, but at the same time, like that's not the be all end all. That's not what defines people that are successful versus people that aren't.
Yes. But I also find it interesting. I want to see kind of the evolution of OnlyFans because I think the reason why, because I'm trying to like wrap my head around like who would pay money for this? Like, you know, I'm just like, there's porn everywhere, dude. Like there is free porn everywhere.
There is.
Okay. So to me, I'm just like, anyone that pays for porn, I'm like, I don't understand. But it's like a fucking multi-billion-dollar industry. Yeah. I'm sure that and I know that there's, you know, obviously like ads and stuff, but I'm sure a lot of it is through subscriptions.
Yeah.
But I'm like, who's paying for fucking porn? But anyways.
This is the thing. I mean, maybe because I'm cheap, which I am, but I'm like, why would I pay for something that I can get for free?
Yes. And also, and this like fascination with seeing like public figures, I guess, naked. But I wonder if, again, like, because if we're normalizing, you know, sex content, if let's say, then is it going to become less lucrative for people? Because now, because I think the reason why it's lucrative is because it's kind of taboo, right? It's like, ooh, this person's naked. It's like, ooh, I want to see Paris Hilton sucking a dick, you know?
One night in Paris.
One night in Paris. I want to see like fucking Kim Kardashian getting banged by, what's his name? Ray J?
Yeah. Something like this. Who was very good looking, by the way.
Is he good looking? Is he a fucking loser though?
I don't know.
Anyways. Anyways, so
say it like it is, Rose.
I do what I do
like
wonder. What's the future?
Mm-hmm. I guess time will. You know what? Time will only tell, and we got more time on this planet, so we will see.
We got more time in quarantine. That's for sure.
Damn, so we got some time to maybe subscribe to our own OnlyFans sites. Other,
Yeah. When did OnlyFans become a thing? Was it like since like COVID started?
No. It's been way longer than that.
No, really. But it blew up, I think, in the last year.
Let's see.
Is it not? Has it not?
OnlyFans. Let's see what happened when I go OnlyFans.
Oh god damn! It be explicit content.
Why doesn't OnlyFans is subscription?
Oh, it launched in 2016.
Subscriptions.
But I think it became very popular in the last like year or so. Oh my!
The images.
Oh god.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Anyways, I think it's good. I think especially because the porn industry is also like really fucked up.
Yeah, there's so much shady shit that goes on.
And so the porn stars, I think it's good that they are able to, like some of these people are able to just do it on their own.
Yeah.
Because I think that's one of the issues with the porn industry or just adult entertainment in general is that there's like so much like, stuff going on at the top.
Yeah.
And the people that are actually performing are not getting what they deserve.
Exactly. And I think there's a lot of like abuse.
Yes.
And there's a lot of like, the people that work in that industry, they're put through a lot.
Yeah.
You often see like documentaries or like clips of people on TV and stuff that used to be porn stars, and they're like, that industry tears you up.
Oh God, it's so sad.
Like, yeah, it's bad. Yeah. It's bad. And people will take advantage, and guys and girls both, they get taken advantage of.
Yeah.
So.
Oh God.
Sad as hell.
Is there any other story, Daniel?
That'd be the last one.
That'd be the last story. Bad Bhabie making $1 million in 6
hours.
I am in fucking shock.
I know. Like, what would you do with $1 million in 6 hours?
I don't even know. Honestly, at that point, it's just numbers on a screen.
Yeah.
She's probably already really rich.
Yeah.
So to me, it's just numbers on a screen.
It just blows my mind, though.
Yeah.
Like, literally in 6 hours, you just made $1 million. Like, what?
She could retire.
You can't retire on $1 million anymore.
She probably has $1 million something.
True. If you have a couple million.
She made $1 million in 6 hours. She does this for like a couple months. She could retire.
True. That's true.
Well, to be fair, it's a monthly subscription, right?
So she'd make $1 million.
So then she'd have to probably wait a few months to rack in the. Yeah. Well, she wouldn't make $1 million. But she could make more from like messages and stuff.
No, the $1 million included the messages. So if you look at the.
Yes, but what I'm saying is, so for example, like she could make. So let's say she made $750,000 in 6 hours. Yeah. So that's just from subscription. So that means that's rolling in each month.
Yeah.
But if people pay over $200,000 to message her in 6 hours. That's
true. She could be making God damn, she could be making $267,000 every 6 hours.
How much does it cost to message her?
I don't know.
Go up. Is there a cost? Let me see. I'm curious as to how many people messaged her.
It just says from subscriptions, from DM
How
payments.
does that work?
I think you DM and you can like pay for.
Oh, maybe there's like a minimum that you have to pay?
Yeah.
Anyway, that's insane, man.
Craziness.
That is insane. Anyway, guys, those were the stories of today. As always, guys, make sure you click the like button if you're watching on YouTube. And please give us a little 5-star rating or whatever the fuck you do on whatever platform you're listening to us. Give us a rating. Give us a review. Only if it's 5 stars, of course.
Yeah, of course.
And if you guys want to pay for a better setup for us.
Yeah.
You guys join us.
Yeah, come check out our Patreon. It's patreon.com/The SaVeg Podcast.
And what are the perks, Daniel?
So you get access to all of the episodes a week early, ad-free for the YouTube episodes. Well, actually ad-free for all the episodes on Patreon. And also we do exclusive content. Not explicit content.
Should we start posting some
well, you made me lose my train of thought. Oh yeah, we have exclusive episodes that we do. So we do one extra bonus episode every single month, and we have other cool things going on.
Yes, so come join us on patreon.com/The SaVeg Podcast. Link is below, and of course follow us on Instagram, which is The SaVeg Podcast, and subscribe to us on YouTube. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you so much, guys.
We will see you guys next time.
Bye.